And now it's time for Music Theory at Home with Mark Grizzard.
18, 19, 20. Hey everybody, I hope you had a good weekend. We are basically wrapping up the semester here. We've kind of introduced all the concepts we're going to introduce. We're going to spend this week getting ready for Quiz 4, which is going to be posted on Friday and due on Monday. And then next week, we'll be thinking about the final exam. So the light is at the end of the tunnel here, and I just want to make sure that we're feeling good about the stuff that has just been thrown at you in the last couple of weeks. So on the homework you just turned in today, maybe you got a little mad at 14.2 Part 2A. This is the harpsichord exercise that asked you to find a 6/4 chord and then label its type. And it might have been a little hard to choose from among this menu. We had this little line, etc., etc. First step, we were looking for a triad in second inversion, a 6/4 chord. I don't really see one until measure 3. This second beat here has a G major triad in second inversion. Okay, so at least I think I can zero in on that. Now, what type is it? It's either pedal, cadential, or arpeggiating. Well, a pedal would mean that the bass is staying put and we have some notes acting like neighbor tones above it. I don't know. Arpeggiating would be we have one chord where the chord is staying the same essentially and the bass is leaping around the tonic triad or whatever triad. And we don't really have that either. So could this be a cadential 6/4? Well, we just learned about all this sort of dash business, right? That we should have voice leading that operates smoothly above the bass note. Boy, we kind of have that in the top of the left hand, but not really. And I would be a little nervous calling this a cadential 6/4. However, I'm here to tell you, and something we just want to confirm today, keyboard texture often has the same concepts as chorale texture, but it's just decorated and it's a little messier, but the same analysis can apply. And of course, this harpsichord piece was in keyboard texture. We have all the elements of a cadential 6/4. We've got the tonic triad in second inversion, that then goes to a dominant triad, and then to tonic. Dominant area of the phrase is definitely decorated with this quote-unquote 1/6/4 chord. So while the voice leading is messier, we could still apply this Roman numeral, 5, 6/5 to 4/3. And therefore, we would call this a cadential 6/4. I'm going to be pretty nice about grading this because we suddenly are thrown into a little bit of the unknown here when keyboard texture takes this concept and kind of makes it a little messy. I want to look at one more example here. This is Beethoven Sonata Pathétique. This is such a cool piece. Let's just listen to the end of this. Okay, there are so many fun chords in here that unfortunately we cannot talk about until next year. I cannot wait for that. But for now, let's see if we can analyze the final 3 measures here, the final 3 chords. I'm feeling pretty strong about us being in C minor. And what happens in these last 3 chords? Well, we've got a 1 chord in second inversion. Then we've got, oh boy, some low bass notes here, but we recognize we have a 5/7 chord, and then it goes to 1. We have everything that makes up the emotional power of a dominant area decorated with this quote-unquote 1/6/4 chord. Ba-ba, ba-ba, ah, right? Dominant, bringing it on home. And while the voice leading is not as nice and neat as the SATB exercises we've been writing, we do have the elements of a cadential 6/4. So we might cross out this analysis and do this. It's basically the notes of a C minor triad and then the notes of a G major minor 7 chord. So while the voice leading is not nice and neat, we definitely have 8 going to 7, 6 going to 5, and 4 going to 3. However, it's all over the map with register. analysis would call this a cadential 6/4, and we would use that Roman numeral to analyze it. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Again, quiz 4 is going to be posted on Friday, so just as we did for quiz 3, our homework is going to be a practice quiz. So let's walk through this really quickly. Quiz 4 practice, part 1, we are given these chords and we're first asked to analyze them and then resolve them. So this first example is done for you. We are in F major and we see this chord. We can move it around in a snowman stack until we realize that this is a C major minor 7th chord in second inversion, a 5/4/3. Now we want to resolve this chord. Are there tendency tones in this chord? Yeah, there is a leading tone. Leading tone has everything to do with what key we're in, and if we're in the key of F major, the leading tone is E, and our alto's in an E, that leading tone needs to go up. Is there a chordal 7th? Yeah, in our C major minor 7th chord, the chordal 7th is our B flat, and that needs to go down. So I can resolve those two pitches and then flesh out a 1 chord that doesn't run into any other voice leading problems. In this case, a 1 chord in root position. Great, cool. Let's at least start the second one here. The same process might apply. Okay, is this another 5/7 chord? Let's see, we certainly have that raised leading tone. I see that B sharp. And then, so are we in a G sharp chord here? No, wait a second, we have a B sharp, we have 2 D sharps, and we have an F sharp. Okay, we only have 3 pitch classes here, and those pitch classes are scale degree 7, scale degree 2, and scale degree 4. This is not a 5/7 chord. This is a triad based on our leading tone. It's a 7 chord. And is it a root position? Nope. So we would call this a 7 diminished 6th. Of course, that Roman numeral 6 just tells us that it's a triad. It's not a 7th chord. So, do we have a leading tone? Yep, we have a leading tone. Do we have a chordal 7th? No, there's no chordal 7th in here. However, we're still worried about the tritone between B sharp and F sharp here. You can go back and remind yourself of what we need to do with this 7 diminished 6th chord. So keep that process going throughout part 1. Part 2, this should look a little familiar. Realizing some SATB harmony with Roman numerals given to us. And hey, a bass note provided. You're welcome. So, looking at these Roman numerals, thinking about tendency tones, thinking about good spacing, doubling, etc. should be okay. What the heck is happening in measure 3? 5, 6/5, 4/3. I see those 2 levels of dashes, and I know that we're talking about a cadential 6/4. So give that a shot, and when you're done, provide a contextual analysis. See how maybe these chords in inversion can be used to sort of bridge the gap within a phrase area. Cool. Page 2 is going to be 2 analysis examples. The first one is a gorgeous choral piece. I hope you choral singers get a chance to sing this sometime in your life. The Bluebird. What key are we in? Do we have a lot of non-chord tones? I'm going to suggest that there are no non-chord tones in this example. I think every note can belong to a chord. So, determine the key, provide a Roman numeral analysis, and then answer this question. What type of 6/4 chord is used in measures 1 and 3? We got that, that's no sweat. Bottom of the page, a keyboard example. This is sort of a keyboard arrangement of some Sostakovich. That guy is the man. Figure out what key we are in, circle and label any non-chord tones, and provide a Roman numeral analysis. I think that big old dash in the middle is a little bit of a giveaway. And with that, that is all we've got today. So, anything else you guys want to talk about? Or no? We're done. Have a great day. 1, 2, 3.